ago, we had a special session in Weddington solution in support of Summerfield because we
Yes,
saw it
we
coming.
did.
We had a
did.
special session one night, and that developer took 1,000 acres right down through the center of that town, and
They gutted Summerfield.
they did because because the developer wanted he
He wanted his way.
wanted his way. So no, I think this is scary. I think it's critical. All stand up and reach out, and just like what Jeff said, start sending letters. And I'm shocked and disappointed that our delegation all voted for this. And when I reached out to them, they didn't even have a reply. So I'm disappointed.
So
So
anyway, I'll keep you posted. Like I said, if I get any
Okay.
responses, I will let you know.
okay, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Next item is code enforcement report. Can you use your mic?
Copy of code enforcement report is on the table.
Okay.
There's nothing outstanding, except we're monitoring addresses and letters have gone out.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add to it? You're good?
I'm good.
We're good. Okay. All right. Update from our financial officer and tax collector. And Liz, I'm going to let you go to the mic as well, since we're streaming. Thank you.
Oh, not used to this. You have your monthly financials in your packet. I want to say that last Monday was the start of the new fiscal year. The financials in your packet are the June 2024, the end of the fiscal year. They're preliminary. We have our year held open for 60 days to allow for receivables and accruals to be posted. So these numbers will change. And I also wanted to emphasize that included in the revenue, there are 2 line items for grant funds. Those will not be, they're not general fund revenues, but our accounting software puts them there and they'll move down below the line as a transfer in. So, and the
They're
tax.
restricted is what you're saying.
Right. They're a special revenue fund that is reimbursing the general fund. So, and then the tax settlement, Kim and I are still working on that, and we hope we will have that at the next meeting. So with a year-end summary of all the taxes collected.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Update from the town planner and town administrator. Okay.
Yes, Mayor Council. I apologize again for the technical delays. Of course, it happened on the first attempt at streaming. So I'd like to apologize on behalf of the public and the council. But it's not super relevant to the updates I'd like to provide. We've had tremendous demand for just development and subdivision in Weddington, which I cannot say is a good thing, but is factual. That we've had a lot of interest in vacant land in the town of Weddington at this time for a variety of reasons. Relevant to our community and our council folks is that there's a meeting on Thursday, which is 6 to 7:30 for a 9-lot subdivision, a relatively small subdivision at 3308 Forest Lawn Drive. So that is this coming Thursday, a community meeting for that development. That information is on our website, has been sent out. And then, as was noted, this coming Tuesday at the same time period, 6 to 7:30 for Deal Lake, there's a second community meeting. This council just approved basically an amendment to what our community meeting requirements are. And so that doesn't pertain to this particular project, but this is an amendment to the previous Deal Lake proposal, which was previously a conservation subdivision development. This is now kind of a traditional R40 style development, meaning that the lots are an acre plus. That would reduce the number of lots from 93 to 82 lots on this location at Weddington Matthews Road. signs are up. It's locations on our website. The information's on our website. Again, this is 6 to 7:30 on Tuesday for what's called the Deal Lake property.
Okay. Gary, your turn.
I'm working with our town attorney on scheduling a conditional zoning training for the planning board and the council members who are interested. As you mentioned, Union County is working on their hazard mitigation plan, and there is a link in the July newsletter for a survey that they are encouraging all residents to fill out. And there's also an overview of the plan update.
Okay,
And that's all I have for now.
good. All right, the transportation report. I'll keep this short, but I've said this many times on the CRPTO board. NCDOT is looking into the I-77 south from like downtown to the state line past Carowinds, putting in some what they call fast lanes, just like they did North Charlotte. They're starting to get a lot of pushback on that from the board members because right now the cost to do that 11 miles is just 11 miles is $4.2 billion. It's crazy. And over a 50-year time, they're expecting it to exceed $5 billion for that 11 miles. The state budget for all of North Carolina is right around 8.2 billion. So it's almost, half of the state budget to do 11 miles. So this last time I told them, I said, guys I said, I think you need to send it back to the engineers. You guys got to be creative. You got to come up with something. That much money for 11-mile stretch. I said, you got to come up with something. And I said, we can't make the same mistakes on this 11 miles that we did on the I-77 north because of the expense. Some of the guys were talking about coming down from Iredell County for the board meetings costing $75 for one trip. And so they're getting pretty hammered on all of that. And I think they should be because they need to come up with some ideas to get that cost down. And it's going to take 7 to 7.5 years to build that whenever they do start it, if they start it. So they're working on trying to be creative. I even thought, I said, put a deck on it, do something. I mean, because they're talking about rebuilding every bridge down through there, widening every bridge, buying all the land, the access to the land, and moving the utilities. I mean, so it's just gotten crazy. So anyway, I can ramble on because it sort of works me up when I get up there and we talk about this stuff because of the expense of it. So anyway, I give you more details as it comes out. So that's that for transportation. Council, it says we close. Anybody?
Excuse me, sorry.
You want to go first? You want somebody else? Tom, you want to go?
Well, thank everybody for coming out. It's been a nice day, a little hot and humid, but Greg got out and got to see a whole bunch of the town today and looking at projects and everything else to keep everybody straight. But just again, thank you, and glad you came out.
Okay, I'm ready now. Apologize.
Yeah.
I want to thank Deputy Wren and his team for their ardent service in our community. It is not unnoticed. I want to thank staff for just being as wonderful as you are. I appreciate all your help. And also I wanted to express my thanks to the Rotary Club of Waxhaw and Weddington for the flags that they put out over 4th of July. It really had our town looking nice. So thank you to the Rotary Club.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody, echo the same sentiment there. Thank you for everybody coming out. I know that now we've got our new high-tech IT systems going. It's going to take a little bit of work to make sure everything runs like we expect every time, but that happens, and we'll continue to roll with it. I do want to just take a moment to address a couple of things. I know, Chris, if you're still here, Chris and Mr. Nev, about the tax rate. Nobody likes paying taxes. Nobody likes paying more taxes. I know I certainly don't. But I do think there's a little more that everybody needs to understand about, the issues that came along with the handing the fire service back to the county. This town had been desiring to do that for a long time, for years, in fact. But we were unable to do so when we were involved with litigation. That when the Providence Volunteer Fire Department got us, the town, involved in litigation. So we were unable to do that. In fact, and if you go back as far as the tax rates go, up until about 2 years ago, we were actually charging less than the county was charging. In other words, if we'd been more, I'm sorry. In other words, we were paying, correct me here, Leslie, for the last 7, 8 years, we would have been, until the reevaluation.
Yeah,
The
the reval, the Weddington imputed tax rate was higher than the Wesley Chapel fire.
Right.
Can you repeat what she said for people streaming?
For this one more time.
For the first, until the reval, the Weddington imputed tax rate that we were using to pay for fire was higher than what the Wesley Chapel Volunteer Fire Department tax rate was.
Okay.
So we were on the opposite side, and then we flipped.
And then after the reval is when the flip occurred. But the giving back of, or the returning of the fire department services to the county was and still is the best thing to do for us and Wesley Chapel. The bookkeeping, the issue of us having our own fire district, it was just, it was not a good process. And again, we've been working on this for a long time. And like I said, the biggest change up until, if we'd been able to do this before, the tax rate that Wesley Chapel would have been charging would have been less. But after the latest reval, it's my understanding that what happened was because each fire department petitions the county for their own rate. It's not like the county sets one rate for everybody in the county. Each fire department petitions the county and says, this is the rate we want to charge. And unfortunately, that 0.398 rate was the rate that was approved this go round. But I will say this, reevaluations are coming next year. And so these numbers are going to change again. And we don't know what they are. But I do think that a little more information was needed on that. And again, like I said, we made a decision that we needed to. Unfortunately, it did cause the rates to go up a little bit. But with that, I will finish by thanking staff. You always do a great job. We really appreciate it. And next month, everything's going to work as advertised.
This may not be us. This may be Spectrum. So
Okay. But anyway, thank you to town staff. That's
Okay.
all I got.
Okay, and I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and everybody watching on streaming too. Don't just sit home, come and be part of it, and be a part of and speak. And we have public comment sections or times. So anyway, just want to thank you for watching. Thank you guys for coming.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you guys.